Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor Part 2. What happened at the end of that broadcast was the phone went, the surgeon called to tell me that Leah is now out of surgery. She's in the recovery room, and now I have to just wait for the nurse to call me to say I can go in. So right now she's in the recovery room sleeping, and I will be back in the room as shortly as possible to be with her when she wakes up. So I may have to go again at the very end of my broadcast. That's what happened. The surgeon called, and that's why the audio was cut off. So this might be quite short now. So I will come back later and continue. We got as far as Tom Lee. Tom Lee had said that there was a glitch in the system, and I was just about to say that I think actually there is some evidence of that. But remember, Tom Lee is paid to be a kind of influencer, if you like, for Ethereum because of his Bitmine. So he is a bull. I'm going to leave it now because Leah is waiting. I will end this quickly because Leah is now waiting in. She's not waiting for me, obviously, but she's out of surgery. That's the surgeon just called. That's why the end of the broadcast ended, and she'll be in the recovery room. So I'll be going there in a minute. But I will come back and update you all later. There's more to say on this story, of course, about Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and the markets. But I will just talk for a minute until the phone rings. So when the phone rings and you don't hear me, you'll know why. So Tom Lee has been saying these things, and it's true to an extent. However, there's more to it than that. The carry trade, we talked about the carry trade starting to unwind, people borrowing money, using leverage, and they're getting liquidated. People that have been borrowing money too much to buy crypto, they're losing their money. Interest rates should never be a guide to buy or sell. People use it for volatility. Now, that's the benefit of crypto because you can benefit from volatility, whereas a less volatile asset doesn't give you the chance to enter and re-enter and pivot. That's the benefit. However, let me be absolutely clear, as wonderful as Bitcoin is, or isn't, at the end of the day, it's about a belief system. If people are going to buy it, it goes up. If people sell it, it goes down. However, the next part I wanted to get onto was this. We flushed out now the majority of the old guard of investors who bought the asset for pennies and dollars and 5,000, 10,000. They've taken their profit. Now, that's not a bad thing. People that bought the S&P 500 100 years ago don't own it anymore. They're now paying the price of what it is today. There's nothing wrong with the original investors selling, because if you bought thousands of Bitcoin at the beginning for a few dollars, you are a multimillionaire or a billionaire. You don't need to be in it anymore. It doesn't make a difference to you whether it goes to 100,000, a million, and onward. So it doesn't really matter to you. So why not take profit? So now we've got a whole new audience. The volume, the liquidity is there for the first time. We can sell their original purchases, but we've now got a whole new investment family who are now paying 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Well, it speaks of it. It makes sense and speaks for itself that people that have paid 100, 120 might not want to sell. Now, some people who are new to the space might panic. There could be that if it starts to go down. However, most investors understand that's what Bitcoin does. So you're happy to buy the dip, which is why I entered at 81, 82. And we now start the cycle all over again. Talking of cycles, these cycles that people talk about are rapidly dissolving probably not even relevant anymore. I'm not investing on Bitcoin because of the pattern that's appeared before. I'm investing in it on the basis of I believe people will buy it. Now, you could say that's a Ponzi scheme. And in some ways it is. But is it any different than gold? Gold doesn't produce or serve any purpose other than it makes some jewelry. But essentially, you buy gold because you want to own it as a store of value. And that's essentially what Bitcoin is. It's not a payment system. The other thing, if you just tuned in, Leah's now out of surgery. I'm waiting for a phone call to say that's why the call ended last time, because the surgeon called. The moment I get a call comes in again, it will cut me off again, and then that means Leah's in the recovery, and I'll go and see Leah. So I'm just waiting for that call. So that's why I bought Bitcoin. Now, I did explain to you that I can't get margin called with buying Bitcoin on my Robinhood. I can't. I get margin called on the assets I own, not crypto. Or at least I could get margin called. I'm not going to get margin called, but I could get margin called on the assets, not crypto. Robinhood treats crypto purchases using margin as a cash withdrawal. So the asset, you own it, you bought it, but it's not used as collateral for your margin. So when I bought $100,000 worth of crypto yesterday, well, the lights have just gone out. That's kind of weird. Maybe because I haven't moved. And that's a bit weird, isn't it? Got a little spotlight now. The money I used, the margin that I used to buy crypto on my Robinhood is treated and regarded like a withdrawal. In other words, just taking the money out, just cash, just borrowing the money, transferring it into my bank account. Remember I spoke to you about borrowing money against your portfolio when it matures? You never sell, you just borrow against it, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. You take the cash out. That's what buying crypto is like on Robinhood. So if crypto goes to zero and the S&P stays where it is, of course, that wouldn't happen like that. But if crypto, Bitcoin goes to zero, it wouldn't margin call me. I wouldn't be forced to sell it. It's regarded as a cash withdrawal. So it's not held on the books, if you like. It doesn't work that way. I would get margin called because if the S&P dropped, because now I've used margin, my 100% margin buffer has dropped to 50%. So in other words, if the S&P dropped 50%, I would then get margin call. Well, I'm already buying a big dip and I've got money coming in, and I buy sensibly, so I'm not worried about being in a position where the S&P drops 50%, so that's fine. Before I talked about a big crash, I thought a big crash could occur, a 40%. Well, we've had it on crypto. I was right again. I don't see it happening on the S&P 500 because the carry trade is already unwinding and we're not seeing a massive drop. We will see more. There could be more. We've already seen crypto drop 30, 40, 50% in some cases. We've already seen that. And interest rates, I couldn't care less, up and down, doesn't bother the Mag 7 anyway, only really benefits small businesses. People will say it will bring extra liquidity into the crypto trade. Well, it's not really moved that not that much, even though we now think we're going to get a rate cut. I don't invest on speculation or guesses, so I'm not bothered about that. What I am interested in is about 75% of the S&P 500 achieved 12% up on earnings. That I like. That's why I can now afford to take more risk and buy Bitcoin. So I think that'll do for now, because any moment now the phone could ring, and that's what happened at the end of the last broadcast. It cut me off because the surgeon has just called me to tell me surgery's gone well, she's done, and we're now waiting in recovery. I can't go through there until they let me know she's able to you know, till she's woken up. So I'm just sitting here waiting, but I want to be ready because it could be any moment. So I'm going to end this. Oh, the lights come back on. I guess someone's walked around. So anyway, there you go. There's my thoughts. Please tap the like button. And I'll be back with you, of course, in Season 5 when it starts in the main studio. But now I'm going to go and take care of Leah. Thanks for all your support. Thank you very much. And there's my thoughts. I bought Bitcoin. If you'd like to take part in our XRP giveaway, we're giving away $2,000 free to enter, free for all. Anyone can win. martynlucas.com/giveaway. You can enter and win $2,000. Anyway, there you go. That's it. That's it for me. All take care of yourselves. I'll see you back in a bit for the next one, and soon back in the studio. Take care.